Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, and I want to say Shalom to y'all Kanakwat out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. And this is an in-transit lesson, and I think this one's going to be titled something along the lines of, don't let your friends and family corrupt you. Alright, don't let your friends and family corrupt you. And I was going through my Bible notes, as I do from time to time when I'm trying to find a topic. Can't really, nothing really coming to mind. And the idea of, not being corrupted and corruption and the corruption of this world and, the lusts of this world came to the mind. And I was just thinking, you want to make sure that, this is really valuable for new believers in this truth, especially. And I touched on it, I think, in one of my previous editions of seven essentials, at least lightly. And you don't want the people that you hang around to be a bad influence on you, right? So when you come to this truth, a lot of the time, what you end up doing is you end up dumping off all the bad vegetables, right? All the bad fruits and vegetables, all right, your friends, and sometimes even your family, all right. And it sounds crazy that sometimes you got to cut family off, but sometimes you do, all right. You might have a crazy ass cousin that every time you go around, they're trying to get you to go, and get in trouble. For example, I have a crazy ass cousin. I haven't seen him in years, but every time we used to hang out, we'd get in trouble. Break something or be doing some shit we shouldn't be doing. Right now, he's all grown up in and out in prison, and he's not the type of person that you'd want to hang out with, right? So you don't want to make, you don't want to lower yourself down for others, all right, just to try to fit in. Okay, here it is. You have a crackhead cousin or something, and now you got to be, a crackhead to hang out with. You don't want to do that, all right? Or try to, become too worldly to fit into a conversation, all right? And that's something I've went through in the past. I felt like, this conversation, it feels just too worldly, right? Because these are worldly people. So, and that that's why we have things like that scripture says, be not unequally yoked with unbelievers, because you really can't be on the same level of these people. That doesn't mean you can't hang out with someone like in passing. I personally wouldn't recommend it, and a lot of the brothers wouldn't recommend it either. It's not that it's necessarily wicked. It's just not that it's not advised. Okay, as we're going to read through some scriptures, you start hanging around people that are wicked. You don't want to pick up wicked traits. All right, when right now you're in the lifestyle of bettering yourself, all right, and betterment, and trying to put off the old man on the new. Meanwhile, you're hanging around these people that are still that old man, and they don't really like the new man, so they only really hang out with the old man, right? You don't want that. That's not something you want. Okay, so here it is. You put on the new man, allegedly, but every time you hang out with these guys, you got to put on the old guy, right, to try to fit in. Don't be wicked to fit in. All right, the one thing is, we're supposed to be being holy. All right, the scripture says, "Be ye holy, for I am holy." Okay, and that word "holy" goes back to the word "kodash." Now, the Jewish people, they refer to that word as kodesh. All right, what that word means is separate. All right, separate. All right, you can go and look it up. I'll show you. All right, or kadosh, all right, is how they say. So it says kadosh is a Hebrew word. It's really pronounced in the Paleo Hebrew, quadash, all right, so you'll hear us say rakakwadash, that's the Holy Spirit, all right, the Spirit holy. So quadash, all right, is a Hebrew word meaning holy, sacred, or set apart, signifying something distinct from the common or profane, from the profane. All right, if you go and get profane means ungodly. Okay, profane, related or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical. So if someone's profane, they're dedicated to unbiblical things. They're dedicated to wickedness, right? It says secular rather than religious. So they're devoted to worldliness, okay? So you don't want to be common or profane. Okay, you want to be holy, sacred, set apart. Those are the things you want to be. And by being so, you're going to be different. All right, you're set apart. Set apart in turn means you're different. All right, Jake is built different. All right, Jake always like, oh, he built different. All right, Jake is literally built different. Okay, so in our true natural state. So you start hanging around, Edomites or other heathens, and really you're going to put yourself on a lower level. You're forcing yourself into a lower vibration. All right, to basically lower yourself down onto their level. Okay, you're kneeling down like you would kneel to a dog. All right, to be closer to them, so they can have be less afraid of you. You're less intimidating. Show you, oh, I'm just like you, and you're not, Jake. You're not just like them, and they're not just like you. We're different people, right? So you don't want to get into the habit where you're doing that, and you start end up being corrupted. These people start corrupting you. Here it is, you were doing good, now you're doing bad because you're hanging around the wrong type of people. And I'd say that's something especially important to watch out when you're at work. Okay, being at work in general for me is a vexation, right? I feel like there was a time after the pandemic where I was unemployed for quite some time, and I felt like I learned the most, I grew the most. I was able to go on the brothers' lives all the time. I was posting scriptures all the time. I felt, closer than I ever had been, and I wasn't around, a whole bunch of wicked 2/3 and heathens and stuff because I was just at the house. And, being at work is a vexation because I feel like I don't have that, right? But really now's not the time for our rest, as we know. But it's vexing being around these people. I'd much rather not be around them. I'd much rather not be at work, all right, but be at home. I'd much rather work from home, but that's not a privilege or a luxury that most have, right? So I'm going to start up here. I'm going to grab this drink, this tea real quick, and then I'm going to start up with 1 Corinthians 15 and 33. So bear with me real quick. All right. 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it reads, "Be not deceived, evil communications corrupt good manners." And as a matter of fact, I want to go and get this very scripture in the Bible Gateway, and it's 1 Corinthians 15:33. It's perfect. This is in the Good News Translation. It says, "Don't be fooled. Bad companions ruin good character." Like there's that old saying, if you have, it's a modern saying, you hear a lot of people say it now, if you have 4 Nazis sitting at a table and you sit down, there's 5 Nazis sitting at that table, right? And that's just how it goes. Why? Because you're hanging around bad company, okay? The bad company, you're becoming likened unto them, okay? If there's 4 adulterers sitting at the table and you sit down with them and they're your best friend, odds are probably an adulterer, all right? So, if you got 4 weed smokers sitting at the table, and you might be with family or certain things like that, then they smoke weed, and you just go over and visit for a while. But I mean, if these guys are your ride or die, they're your homeboys, and you're hanging out with them and chilling with them like that all the time, the odds of you getting corrupted are high, all right? And it's not always the case. There's some people that can do that and they won't be corrupted. But again, it's not advised, right? You're putting yourself into a situation that may or may not work. It's kind of like being circumspect, all right? It's a position where you're putting yourself into a risky situation, right? Now, you might have that confidence in Yahweh Shem Yahushai in you, knowing that, I'm not going to smoke the weed. Or even if these guys smoke weed, I'm not going to smoke it. But you got to realize, they're sitting there puffing lie at the table, right? Smoking tree, and it's going to be one of those things, or snorting dope, or whatever they happen to be doing, all right? It's at least probably going to come in your mind. You're going to have a demon going, you should hit that. You should hit that, right? And that's just one of those things where you don't want to put yourself in temptation's way, all right, where you have a position where demons can mess with you, all right? And those demons are going to mess with you. All right? There's certain demons that aren't going to go away like that, all right? That's something you need to realize. Not every demon's going to go away. I haven't smoked a cigarette in probably maybe longer than 8 years. It's been before I was even in this truth, because when I got in this truth, I was vaping, right? But it's probably been like 9 years, 9.5, 10 years maybe, for that I've smoked a cigarette. And every time I pass by a cigarette, still, you know, that craving's still there, because that's a demon that's going to stay on you, man. Now, am I going to go run out and get a pack of smokes? No. Lord, I should say, Lord willing, no. Because it's not like that. But every time you pass that, you're going to have that demon, smells nice, don't it? So if you're hanging around a bunch of people, and here it was, you used to be a smoker, used to be a weed smoker, and they're smoking cigarettes in front of you, and they're smoking weed, you're going to have that demon constantly there. Yeah, doesn't this look fun? Don't you remember? Don't you remember? You should just try. You really think the Lord's going to kill you? And of course, in your mind, you say, yeah, the Lord will kill me if I do that. That's why I'm not doing it. Hell no. Right? But why put yourself in temptation's way? Right? If you know demons are going to mess with you on something, why put yourself in temptation's way? All right? It's just like it's like a woman. Okay, you said, well, you just dying to sin. No, it's not like that. All right? It's like brothers have mentioned, you know, at one point, you know, I'm not going to mention the brothers. They mentioned at one point there was a woman that came up to camp, and they were hanging around. She was a very pretty woman, and she was coming around the camp and listening. And they found out she was married, and they said, "Look, you got to go, all right, because this can't be happening, because it's opening up the doors for just, even if they know and they're not wicked men, it's only opening the door, all right. It's better to just close that door, for that door to never even exist, than to sit there, you know, with it, I'm not going to open it. Well, just get rid of the door, and then you won't have to worry about anything, right? It's the same reason like the apostles talk about, you know, back in the day, you know, one of the worst things that One West did, you know, the school was allow women in, because it opened up the door for, you know, a lot of wicked shit like adultery and other things, right? So, it opened the door for that. So why would you even allow that door to be open? Better yet, never have that door. So, and there's going to be people who say, you just what? There's certain things you're going to be tempted at. There's certain things you're not going to be tempted. Look, demons are going to mess with you in anything, man. All right? I don't even like shrimp, but there's been times I've been walking through the frozen aisle, I see some shrimp, and demons are in my head. You should get a bag of shrimp. I don't even like shrimp. I didn't like shrimp. It wasn't good when I could. Well, I never could have it. We never could have it. Well, before I knew the truth, I didn't even like it. All right? It tastes like weird, rubbery bullshit. Right? The only way it tastes good is with egregious amounts of cocktail sauce. Right? You have to cover it up. That ain't good. Right? So, and I'll still have demons who are like, oh, I bet you want some of these shrimps. No, the fuck I don't. I never even liked shrimps like that. Right? I ate way too many shrimps when I was a kid. My dad was into shrimps all the time, or shrimp. Right? So, I don't want to eat none of that shit, man. Hell no. So, but demons will still, you want some of those shrimp? No, not really. They'll still try it. So you don't want to put yourself in a position where it's something you struggle with, all right? And addiction's one of those things, man, where those addiction demons are heavy, and they'll get off you, but a lot of people relapse with that shit, man. So you don't want to fuck with that shit. You don't want to fuck with cigarettes and stuff. Like I said, I have confidence enough through Yahweh Shem Yahushua that I wouldn't do those things, but why would I put myself in that situation? Why would I purposely put myself in the situation, you know, tempting the Lord, hanging around a bunch of smoke? I wouldn't do that. That doesn't make no sense. All right? I don't want to be in a circle of 5 dudes smoking a cigarette and I'm standing there, with my hands in my pockets? Just, no. Why am I going to be around him? It doesn't make any sense. So, again, 1 Corinthians 15:33 in the Good News Translation. Don't be fooled. Bad companions ruin good character. So, hanging around bad people brings bad things. Who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Hanging around some fools have you acting like a fool. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Right? So, let's get into Colossians 2:8. Bear with me. It reads, and we use this a lot with the Christians, but it goes in a lot of different ways. Colossians 2:8 says, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after a Mashiach. So, and then you're going to have people doing that. They'll say, oh, well, this is it. You know, it's just everything, man. Everything. They'll try to spoil you with everything, even with shit that you don't agree with. They'll say, well, love is love, you know. Love is love, you know. Or they try to have those movies where, you know, they'll have a gay couple, and right at the end, they'll have the one of the guys dying in the saddest way. And they'll almost have you sad for a minute. You're like, damn, that's kind of sad, man. And they're like, ugh, that's a faggot. What the fuck am I thinking? Right? But the way they play it is they play it as like you're not even like looking at it as a relationship. They almost like try to Jedi mind trick you. Right? Right at the end, it'll feel like that's like his homeboy or something, or that's like one of his lifelong friends. And then they'll sneak in some gay shit, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I'm glad they snuck that back in, because, I was almost sad for a minute, right? And they'll try to corrupt you. See, it's just love. Are you evil? Right? They'll try to do that. And they'll try to, and it's all through the Jedi mind tricks, man. You know, they'll try to say anything like, you know, it's just pork. Is God really going to kill you over some pork? Yes, he really will. Yes, he will. Right? But these people out in the world, they don't understand the true severity. Right? They don't understand. You can't explain to a knuckle dragon ass hood rat, all right, that yes, the Lord will kill you over having some dreadlocks. Yes. Why? Because of some hair? It's not. It's deeper than that, man. It's because the Lord said not to. It's a respect thing. All right. It's just out of natural order. You're not supposed to be doing that. Okay. And you should be ashamed having all that hair up on your head, but you're not. Right. So Colossians 2:8 again. Beware lest any man spoil you through vain philosophy, through philosophy and vain deceit. Okay, vain is useless. Okay, useless deceit, useless works, really. All right, useless things that they try to put up in your head and have you thinking. Okay, after the tradition of men, right? After the rudiments of the world, and not after Mashiach. These things are after men. All right, they're worldly philosophies. All right, the thoughts and feelings of the world. These are not the things of Hamashiach. These are not things in the Bible. All right, these are things that they feel one way or another about. All right, one way or another. Right? They have you feeling some type of way that, and that's how we were back in the world, man. We went according to our lusts. All right, and as the scriptures say, man knoweth not. Let me go and get it. Knoweth not his own way. Here we are, Proverbs 20 and 24. It says, man's goings are of the Lord. How can a man then understand his own way? We didn't know what the fuck we were doing. Well, men's goings are of the Lord. Okay? And that's the secret to life. Everyone's like, what's the meaning of life? What's the secret of life? Serving the Lord. Okay? Serving Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's what it is. Okay? That's what we are to do. All right? As men and as women. Okay? Serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That is our duty. Okay? That is our duty. So how are we going to know what's best for us? How is Ray and Lil Dagger, all right, down the street, all right, little 9mm, right, little catch a case, how is he going to know what's best? All right? How is your old ass grandfather that don't even know shit, all right? He still thinks politics are real. How is he going to tell you, let me tell you something, young blood, let me tell you, your generation, here's the thing, you think you got it all figured out. You don't even got it figured out, man. You're just old and you think you smart. You ain't. You just as dumb, all right? You're just old and dumb instead of young and dumb, all right? That's the difference. So, Romans 12 and 2, it says, we'll actually go from verse 1, because this is what it's all about in this truth. Romans 12 and 1, it says, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. This is a reasonable service. It's not too much to ask, all right? You shouldn't complain, you shouldn't bitch, you shouldn't bicker. You can do it, all right? It's not that hard to make some videos, man. It's not that hard. Okay? It's just complaining just for the sake to complain. So Romans 12:2 reads, and be not conformed to this world. So don't be conformed to this world. Don't try to, here it is, you're a size 12 shoe, and here it is, you're trying to fit into a size 8. All right, the only thing you're ending up with is some fucked up toes. Don't try to do it, man. All right, and be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. We're here to prove what the acceptable and the good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua is. We're not here to prove anything to any other man. We're not here to prove anything to ourselves. All right, our opinion don't mean a goddamn thing. Okay, and some hood rat opinion. I don't care if it's fucking Bill Gates himself. That motherfucker's dumb at the end of the day. He has some knowledge in some things, but at the end of the day, he doesn't know what he needs to know. He doesn't even know if he was really doing what he was supposed to be doing, and he does it to an extent, but he'd be killing more people than he is killing right now. All right, if Esau was in the right state of mind, Esau's not even in the right state of mind. If Esau was in the right state of mind, they'd be going through the city with swords and guns and killing every Jake that they see up. They're not even in that right state of mind. They don't even know what to do, right? They have no idea what's going on. They're just fucked up. Right, here it is. They're saying, "Oh, Jake, man, you just messed up as Jake." All right, you don't know what's going on. All right, your women are infatuated with Jake men. All right, the Jake men are obsessed with the Jake women, and the Edomite men are obsessed with Jake women, and they're obsessed with Jake men. All right, for some reason. I heard those black guys got big dicks. What the fuck is that all about? That's a fetish. That's a fetish, and you can read about that type of shit in The Delectable Negro. Okay, they've sexualized the women and they've sexualized the men. Really, because like as Apostle Dahar said, all Edomite men are happy people. All right, referring to the F to the A to the G to the G to the O to the T S. Right? That's what they are. Right? That's what they are. Okay? So that's why they're infatuated. That's why they're infatuated with all Jake. Okay? With all Jake. That's what they do, man. These guys, and Esau, really, if you really want to get down to it, going off of the script, but these guys really have a cuck fetish, man. It's always Edomites. They're into some weird shit, man. These Edomites are weird, so you don't want to. These guys don't know what's going on. All right. That is their profanity. All right, they are profane, but they have a thing with Jake, right? They have a thing with Jake, right? It's there's another reason why I think P. Diddy is a fucking Edomite. All right. First of all, there's just too many things that ain't adding up with him, man. There ain't too many things. He can't dance. All right, which there's Jake that can't dance. He can't rap, all right? And if you watch the documentary, the guy was talking about how he was writing the song for, he had to show him and coach him and puppeteer him, and he still was fucking it up. And then people are now being like, oh, P. Diddy has always sucked. How did he get... He's always sucked. Like, I was telling my girl the other day, and I was talking to, I think, my girl and some other people. Might have been like the family or something. Can't remember who. But I think it was family. But I was saying, I've never heard one person say, damn, that fucking P. Diddy album, man, I fucking love that P. Diddy. I've never heard anybody say that. All right, same with, man, I love that Jay-Z album. I've never heard those things. Never once have I heard anybody say that. Right? And on top of that, he can't dance. He's uninspired. And in the documentary, they said P. Diddy don't like even hanging around black people. All right, he gets weird around black people. He can't hang around them. All right? And then he's doing all this weird sexual shit. And on top of that, he was hiring that gigolo to fuck, what's her name? I always forget her goddamn name. Starts with a C or some shit. The bitch. All right, I don't have to remember her name. You know who it was. All right. But he was hiring a black dude, all right, to plow her down, all right, and he was rubbing this dude down in baby oil, squirting baby oil. That's some Edomite shit, man. That's some Edomite shit. Just for real. That's just how it is, for real. All right, and I know there's brothers out there saying, oh, his parties were the best. All right, he'd have to be an Edomite, all right, because the parties were best. It's just like I don't know, man. I mean, like. Some people might have considered Epstein to have the best parties, right? That man was Edomite, All right, we don't know. Those probably, who knows? Diddy was probably on those. Hell, who knows? They probably had things to learn from each other. Who knows, man? And I mean, there's, like I said, I can't say 100%. Who knows? P. Diddy could be a Jake. I just think he leans more towards Edomite because his music sucks. It's uninspired. He had to have Jake write his music for him. All right. He couldn't beef. All right. He's a murderer. I mean, there's just so many things that just lean Edomite. You know, so many things that just lean Edomite. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But, you know, they're doing these sick things. These Edomites are doing these sick things. Anyway, more reason not to hang out with them. More reason not to hang out with them. So 1 John 2 and 15. All right, let me grab another drink here. 1 John 2 and 15 says, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So you're trying to, you know, really you're trying to stunt for a world that ain't yours. It's not your society. It's not your rest. As we arise and you and depart, for this is not your rest. It shall destroy you with a sword of destruction. It's not your rest. It's not your kingdom. There's nothing here for you, Jake. All right, other than death. All right, or you got to sell your booty to P. Diddy. All right, to get somewhere. All right, or other people other than P. Diddy. There was another video, I think it was with Lil Durk, and I can't remember who the other guy. He was rubbing up on this dude's head, all fucking types of crazy, man. All right, giving him a back massage and shit. I can't have no man rubbing up on my neck and his shoulders, bro. I could hell no. And that guy's just sitting there taking it because he knows he has to take it. All right, he knows he has to take it. And Lil Durk was looking at him like, what the fuck is going on? The fuck is happening right now, right? But he knew he couldn't intervene. He knew he could not intervene. So 1 John 5 and 19 says, and we know that we are of Yahweh, and the whole world lieth in wickedness. So we know we're of Yahweh, and we know this world lies in wickedness. So why try to fit into this place? All right, why try to fit? It's like you're trying to fit a triangle into the circle shape. Why would you do it? Okay, and I'm sure if you get that hammer and you start banging away, right? Yeah, it'll probably fit, but I mean, you're gonna fuck up everything. Your piece is gonna be fucked up. The board's gonna be fucked up. All right, there's gonna be splinters and everything. Oh, I fit barely. Shit, man. But anyway, you know that's pretty much all I had to say. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Don't try to dumb yourself down and water yourself down and put water into your wine. All right, just try to fit in with this place. All right, don't try to slam yourself into that square slot when you're a circle. All right, just to try to fit in. All right, because yeah, you might bang and pound and you might fit almost, but it still ain't for you unless you're a square. That ain't for you, man. And you're a Jake. All right, and you're separate people. All right, even when you're out in the world, you're different. Okay, and when you're in the truth, you're being holy. You're mega different. But even out in the world, you're different than these Edomites, man. So don't try to dumb yourself down for any of these wicked Jakes. All right, if you're in this truth, and don't try to dumb down yourself for these Edomites and these heathens. All right, don't. Just don't do it, man. You're just gonna end up with a bad situation. All right. So that's the lesson. We're gonna close out there. Lord willing, it was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Till next one, Lord willing. Shalom.